G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildcard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today, undoubtedly, wondering what has happened in the crazy life of Wildcard this week, and it's gonna rant about. And yes, you are correct. Something quite stupid happened to me this week, and please allow me, have a little bit of a rant again this week about some stupidity happened in my life, and then we're gonna talk about some rugby, okay? There's there's rugby championships on pause this weekend, so not too much to talk about. The Girls Rugby World Cup is on, feel free to watch that. But hey, please allow me to have a little bit of rant before I talk about rugby, the greatest sport in the world, okay? So sometimes I see, when I'm doom scrolling, I see these like scams about like, ooh, better buy some crypto, otherwise the bank will take away your money, and suddenly you have no money anymore, the bank will steal it all, right? So better protect your money from the banks by buying some crypto. Now, I am not gonna tell you to buy crypto. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Not a financial advisor, but please, don't buy things you don't know what you're getting into, right? That's something that I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna suggest any financial advice here, but believe it or not, something that I thought could never happen actually happened to me this week. My bank account was locked out from the bank. They blocked me from using my own money. Now, you might be wondering, what happened, Walker? Did someone like hack your account? Nope. So, a couple months ago, I was getting this email on a weekly basis or maybe monthly basis that said, hey, we need you to update your ID. Please click on the link or log on our website and update your ID. Looked like a scam to me, right? So I just ignored it. And then the timer that it gave me to update my ID ran out. First of all, my bank, why would my bank want my ID? I've been a customer for 20 years. Why would they randomly ask me for my ID? So I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I just ignored it. And suddenly last week, the timer ran out, right? They, boom, locked my account. And then I was like, huh? So I looked at the options, right? And if you watched my video last week, you know that I had an old phone. I got a new iPhone, I had an old phone. And the old phone did not have, was too old to actually run apps, right? Like some of the apps, like the banking app, can't run on it anymore. So I went onto their website to update my ID via the method that they told me I should be able to do. And when I clicked on it, it basically said, nope, can't update your ID here, mate. Find another way. Use the app instead. I'm like, hey, I don't want to use the app. I don't use the app. My old phone, I never used the app because my old phone couldn't install it. So then it says, go to your branch. So I decided to call them. I called up the branch. I'm like, hey, not the branch, but called up the bank. I'm like, hey, could I update my app with you? Could I send it to you, my ID, and get this restriction removed? They're like, nope, can't do it. You gotta use the app. And at this point, I realized this whole thing is not about me, need to update my ID. This whole thing is about registering for the app. They literally blocked me from accessing my own money just because I am not using their app. And I kid you not, luckily I got a new phone that allowed me to actually run the app. And I installed the app, updated, went through all the verification, security things. Immediately, my account was unlocked. And this just, I can't tell you how angry this made me feel. If you thought that I was angry at the Wallabies losing, this for somebody in a bank to think it's okay to take away somebody's livelihood to buy food and feed themselves just because they're not using your app is absolutely the worst thing I could imagine anybody could do. They think it's okay to take away my livelihood just because of a small problem of not using their app. They force me to give up my personal information through the app and whatever data they wanted out of my phone, my location or whatever. They forced me to relinquish that by locking me out of my money. I have never been so angry in my whole life. And this was, seriously, I could not believe that there are people out there thought that this was okay to do. Unbelievable. And honestly, there's a special place in hell for these people that thought this was okay. There's a special, and I hope that they get to live their life in hell before they go to hell. Absolutely not acceptable. It's just unbelievable. This is the world we're living, guys. And, sometimes I feel like the world is just clawing me piece by piece. The corporations slowly chipping me away. But hey, there's one thing they can never take away from me. That is the game of rugby. Even if the game dies, I'll still go watch and play it. Watch some kids play it or watch some low-level grade play it. They can never take this away from me. And by the way, everybody knows rugby's played in heaven. So when I die, I'll play rugby again. Not to worry. It'll come one day, right? So yeah. Let's talk about rugby. Anyway, I don't want to get too worked up again. So yeah, Rugby Championship round 2. The championship is wide open after the results completely flipped from the previous week. Argentina, massive upset over the mighty All Blacks. Can you even call them mighty All Blacks anymore? Man, 29 points to 23. First time they beat the All Blacks at home. This was a very, very poor performance by the All Blacks. I've talked about it in my review. If you want to go watch it. And yeah, I think that the one thing, a lot of people are saying like, oh, the strategy, this and that. You guys do realize that Richie Mo'unga is currently playing rugby in New Zealand, right? He's re-signed with New Zealand Rugby. And the only reason he's not playing for the All Blacks right now is politics. Because he hasn't played enough time. So he's forced to play in the NPC before he is able to accumulate enough time before he's allowed to play for the All Blacks. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, you already signed him for like 2 years. He's not going to go anywhere. Just let him play. Like that's pretty much what Australia does now. If you sign, as soon as you sign, you're allowed to play. As long as, and they apparently think that he didn't sign long enough. He only signed like till the Rugby World Cup, which is 18 months away. They think that's not long enough. I mean, I didn't really like that, and it showed on the field. Damien McKenzie unfortunately wasn't able to put out something, spice things up to win the game, and stale as well when Bowden Barrow was on the field. Lots of mistakes, 40 missed tackles, 3 yellow cards. My goodness, this wasn't good. But anyway, feel free to watch my review on this one. Wallabies lost to the world reigning champions, the mighty Springboks, 22 points to 30. Lots of missed goals from James O'Connor. I feel like missing goals wasn't really the issue. I felt like it's the Springboks definitely played a much better game this week, and Rasmus, iron pillars of the Springboks doctrine, worked out pretty well for them. And this was the World Cup winning formula. They put it out, immediately worked, and still will take some time for teams to eventually figure out a way to crack the code. And I think that a lot of you guys were saying, oh, we should stick to this to continue. I don't think that's the right way to go. I think that you need to evolve. Otherwise, other teams will catch up. And the next thing you know, you're losing at the Rugby World Cup. And you don't want to do that, right? So you always want to be ahead of what's coming next instead of trying to chase a style that somebody else has set up. And that's not going to pay out for you. And I think that's probably what the All Blacks are doing now. They're chasing somebody else's style, not following a strategy that's going to work for them. Anyway, the Pacific Nation Cup also happened in round 1. Canada beat the USA 34-20. Tonga beat the Samoans 30 points to 16, which has led to some pretty big changes in the Rugby World Rankings. The Springboks went up 1 point above Ireland. All Blacks not enough to fall below the Springboks after the loss to Argentina. Australia and Argentina still didn't move at all, losing way too many points in the last few years to actually close up the gaps to the top 5. For the other teams, Samoa dropped a bit after losing to what is it called? To what is it called? Tonga. So Tonga's gone up 2 points as a result of beating Samoa. And then USA dropped 2 points after losing to Canada. So some big changes there. The Girls World Cup is also lots of changes over here. We're going to be seeing that. But yeah, if you know, I don't have time to watch the Girls World Cup. So if you guys, if you guys can let me know how that goes, if you do watch it in the comments. But yeah, let's move on. I'll have a little bit more rant here. So I've talked about how I think top 14 is absolute cancer of rugby. And sure enough, they continue to live by that mantra. They have taken away Will Skelton from the Wallabies to go back and play in top 14 because, you know, for them, it's you know, they got to get their money's worth, right? They're going to milk every ounce of a player out for their own benefit, for their own private owners. By the way, we pay our players for breaks. We pay our players to play in the international test matches. We could have longer season and force our players to play, you know, in the Super Rugby for an extra 5 rounds every year, right? But we don't, because we respect the international test calendar, because we know the importance of growing the sport in other parts of the world, like in the USA, like in Canada, like in, you know, in Asia, in Japan. And we think the best way to do that is via international test rugby, something that the selfish French cancer top 14 teams. By the way, I have all respect for the national team, the French team. I have all respect for French fans. I just think the greedy, selfish people at the top 14 are the biggest cancer in the world in world of rugby, right? And sure enough, there's a negotiation to try to get him back for the Bulletin Little Cup. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to happen. And sure enough, you know, you can tell these scumbags in France literally breaking their own salary caps, right? So the salary cap in France is 10.8. So my understanding is that they get extra players like exempt if they play for the national team. So basically they can spend more money essentially if the player plays for the national team. Some of the money gets exempt from the salary cap, so they can raise their salary cap. So for various methods combined, you can see all of these teams are well above their salary caps in terms of spending. With Toulouse at £55 million. Like, you wonder why like these teams don't win like every year, because you just literally have like a broken salary cap system, right? And then people are gonna say, oh, they're not breaking, they're just spending the money on like, you know, on the you know, developments, spending money on like, you know, the gym and assistant coaches and stuff, not actually sitting on the players. But that is a salary bridge subsidy in any other sport. So here in Australia, let me tell you a story, okay? Here in Australia, the Melbourne Storm won a bunch of championships and they found out they had breached their salary. And I'm pretty sure they didn't pay their players extra money officially on paper. I think they gave them like extra real estate or something, like extra free rent or something. And then there was some deal where the players had their like images being licensed out, which gave them money from the licensing revenue. So they didn't directly pay the players, you know, salary. They indirectly provided assistance and support around the players' overall situation in life. That constituted salary breach in the Melbourne Rebels and had championship stripped from them. So if you tell me that the $55 million budget goes into infrastructure maintenance, internal investments, yeah, I have no doubt in any other competition, some of these infrastructure maintenance is not associated with rugby. $55 million, it's like $45 million of infrastructure maintenance. What are you, building a NVIDIA data center? Are you serious? You're building a data center for CapEx, $55 million of like $40 million, $45 million of CapEx for a rugby club. Like, are you building the AI data center? Like, seriously, that's an insane amount of money to be spent on this sort of things. So I have no doubt that there's some cheating going on here with the salary cap. And yeah, it's France. They do whatever they want. Their legal system probably won't crack this down. The union won't give a shit. As long as the money's rolling in, who gives a fuck, right? They're corrupt as they're handing money to their own sponsors and shit to put Ultra on their jerseys. I mean, what do you expect, right? Nobody's gonna care about this. Yeah, I'm just thinking about this really crazy. 55. If you take out the salary, $45 million spend on infrastructure maintenance. Seriously, that's the amount of money that Microsoft spends. Almost the amount of money that Microsoft spends building data centers for AI. It's insane. Insane amount of money. Oh my goodness. And there's no cheating going on. No cheating, guys. No cheating. All perfectly legit in France. Anyway, by the way as well, just a little bit more rant. The French economy isn't doing that well. Isn't their parliament's gonna dissolve? Nobody's and you have rugby clubs literally spending money doing God knows what. The money that could be spent on building data centers that could be making billions of dollars of revenue. Instead, they're spending that on, rugby clubs. Actually insane. Actually, no, I'm actually wrong. I'm actually completely wrong. 50 million is not the amount of money Microsoft spend. Microsoft spent 50 billion. Actually, I'm completely wrong. But still, you know what I mean? 50 million, 40 million is a lot of fucking money to be spending on building infrastructure for a rugby club, okay? You can build a fucking hotel or some shit with that money. But anyway, let's move on. As you can see, me foul maths. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. So Wallabies, P. Samuel has been called in. Someone I thought should have been called into the Wallabies for the Lions tour, but hey, bit of a shame. He's returned to the shores. I think he signed with for the Waratahs, which is good. But Wallabies 12 injuries piling up heading into the game against the Pumas. We got Alan Alatoa, Tom Malina, Harry Potter back alongside of P. Samuel, but still Tom Wright last week suffered a knee problem. Langi Gleeson, Will Skelton was gone. Langi Gleeson I think had a head knock, I think. Dylan Peach has a broken jaw. Donaldson has a groin issue. So there was a lot of injuries for the Wallabies. But yeah, I think we're going to be okay to handle the Pumas. But yeah, it's lots of injuries for the Wallabies and just keeps piling up. I saw after a brutal outing in Cape Town on the weekend. So bit of bad news there. Jordi Pateo has returned to rugby after he's tried to pursue his dream at the NFL. I know I'm all for him to try for something else. I understand that he's not really happy at Rugby Australia. I don't blame him. So he's resigned to go to France to play some rugby, and there's some talks that we could have him back if he wants to. With Swali at center, I don't know. He's not gonna have much of a place to go. So yeah, he's kind of. There's not really much a place for him now that even if he wants to come back, because we don't really need another winger. Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him. So yeah, Tom Wright, we were talking about him getting injured. So yeah, Rusty Rasmus has talked about the Springbok style of play after the game, and then has talked about his rating for the Springbok team. So he said last week was about a 3. This week, I think about 6 or 7. I think that's what he said. Let's just quote the doctor correctly. What is it? Yeah, 6 or 7 this week against the Wallabies, but the week before Ellis Park, I think 2 or 3. So pretty fair assessment. Definitely has more room to improvement. I think the most important thing, people were criticizing the way the Springboks played, too conservative, whatnot. I don't think so. I think it's a strategy that they have polished and honed over years from winning the Rugby World Cup and building into Rugby World Cup. It's just the strategy that it's like the go-to winning strategy, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. They won the Lions, saw the strategy, and no matter what, you can cry all you want. If you can't beat it, you know, that's all you can do, right? You can cry. I think there's nothing wrong with the style of play, the Springboks. I think that the most important part is that the Springboks isn't exploring new options like they did in the first test against Wallabies. Although they lost that, like I said, that they're trying to try something different. But yeah, I can't believe I said Microsoft spending 50 million when they're spending 50 billion. Yeah, it's only off by a factor of 1,000, guys. I'm sorry. That was really stupid of me. But hey, anyway, my point still stands, right? So much money spent on anyway, moving on. So moving on to the next thing. So Springboks has also updated on some of the injuries. Sia Khaleesi will be okay to play with Peter Septutoy back to be heading down to New Zealand for the the clash at Eden Park. Jan Hendrik Vessel joined the squad as well, alongside of Marco Zolo Mapimpi. Cody Allenside and Evu van der Merwe has been left out of the squad for now. And so let's have a look at the squad. The Mending Green will be heading down to New Zealand. So we got Lou Diacha, Peter Sepp du Toit, Thomas du Toit, Jean-Luc Dupries, Eben Esbeth, Vincent Koch, Sia Khaleesi, Wilco Low, Malcolm Marx, Bungin Bunabi, Franco Mostert, Ox Nche, Ruan Nokia, Albertus Smith, Achia Sneymond, Manus van der Merwe, Marco van Staden. We got Bowen, the Fat Thor Fenter, Jan Hendrik Vessels, and Jasper Visa. So quite a strong squad and very experienced squad for the Boks. In the back line, we got Damien de Linda, Andre Esterhuizen, Apelele Fasi, Sasha Vanberg, Ngomezulu. We got Ethan Hooker, Jesse Krill, Cheslin Kobe, Billy LaRue is back. He had a bit of a training issue, but it was before the Wallabies game on the weekend, and then he was replaced by Fasi, so he seems to be okay. Mane Lebok, Makuzula Mapimpi, Kanan Moody, Andre Pollard, Kobus Reinach. We got More van der Berg, Grant Williams, and then the greatest Springbok in the history of the Springboks, Damien Willemse, is at here. And obviously, last couple of rounds, we've got the Fat Thor, Venter, filling in, brought into the squad, late into the squad for 2 weeks in a row. I guess not 2 weeks in a row. He brought in late in the squad in the Ellis Park game, and it's been revealed that the reason it was brought in because Ntabayang Ntabakanye. Anyway, he was apparently found to be a little bit juicy. He got tested positive for something. He's a big boy. It will look very promising, very, very big. He was. That's probably the reason why he was replaced by the Fat Thor. So yeah, unfortunate for him. So the Pumas has made a selection change as well. Thomas Albernos has been replaced from the tour with a dislocated finger. I'm pretty sure Tupu has a dislocated finger as well. So 2 props out for finger injuries. Argentina beating the All Blacks, historic first. We'll talk about that already. So here's the thing with the All Blacks. I want to just quickly touch upon. So the All Blacks has to release 16 players from their squad to play in the NPC. I understand they try to bolster their NPC to get more game time with some of these players. But man, like you're risking a lot of injuries on some of these core players. You know, Ruben Love, Anton Leonard-Brown, Luke Jacobson, Finau, or just like Kisada, Asafa Moore, Peter Larker. They're all like key players. Tavatava Nawa as well. You can see they might not be like, Geordie Barrett or Bowden Barrett level of, of importance, but still, these players could come in important for you. And then Caleb Clark, the biggest one, has been released to play in the clubs for the break. But I just feel like the players probably need a bit of break. I guess it's okay because these guys hasn't played in the previous rounds, and I don't know. I mean, it's like if they actually like stayed home last couple of weeks and then play these rounds, I think okay. I think you got Eden Park coming up, and you might actually have to bring in Ruben Love if something's happened, and he hasn't had a break the week before. I guess it's okay because he hasn't played in the last couple of rounds. So yeah, so it's actually maybe it's not that bad. So yeah, All Blacks definitely trying to but also the NPC, which I do agree, to try to get more fans involved in the local clubs. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. We've got some news came out that Warren Gatland was initially looking at potentially going to coach in Japan at the D-Rocks, and it looks like Graham Roundtree has become the favorite to take over the position instead of Warren Gatland. So Warren Gatland has missed out, potentially going to miss out on that opportunity there. And I think this is the final bit. Finally, in England, the coaching staff has been shafted around quite a bit. People leaving for whatever various reasons. And it's looking like the latest addition is probably going to be Lee Blackett, who's done a pretty good job for England team in the tour to Argentina. And he also did some good job with Bath. So, yeah, Borthwick, I mean, England was very impressive against Argentina. The B team showed up and won 2 games against Argentina A team away. So I was very impressed. So yeah, it is definitely something that the England team is building upon, and I think a lot of the England fans will be pretty happy about that outcome. And I was pretty impressed myself. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. And let me know if anything happened to you crazy. And yeah, sorry about getting the million and billion wrong, but hey, you get my point. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Cheers.